question too when you started.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, what is the good, well balanced diet?
So everybody's a little bit different, based on your genetic makeup, your genetic history. Like you asked me about cabbage, and with a Korean background, it's you're probably genetically predisposed to already adapting to cabbage, even though it can be goitrogenic, which affects your thyroid and inflame your thyroid if you have too much cabbage. Um, so when you have uh, your blood work done, we could see how your thyroid is being affected by the cabbage. But because you have a strong genetic history for adapting to cabbage, you're probably fine. And when you want to do a diet, you want to have a variety, right? So a variety of whole foods, whole protein, whole fat, whole carbs. Carbs is where we get affected the most of. When we eat too much of processed carbs, we're going to start gaining weight. But if you dominate with protein and fats, you feel satisfied. And again, variety. So you want to have variety of fats, variety of proteins. When you dominate here, your gut's going to feel full. It's going to send a signal to the brain saying, I'm satisfied. So I always encourage people to start with proteins and fats. It doesn't matter, variety. Whole proteins, not salami, pepperoni. Those are processed. Hot dogs are processed. There are some sausages that are grass-fed. I talked to you about that in the past at Costco. That are whole, but it's not with a bunch of fillers, and doing those once in a while is fine. But basically, whole fat, whole from whole meat. And if you have that, then your body's satisfied. And then the rice, which is a staple in Asian cultures. But if you have too much, again, obviously, it's if this is half of your plate, and this is only a small part of your plate, right? Then it's going to be too much carbs. So this is where we have to figure it out based on how your scale turns out. So if you're doing the least amount of carbs, you're gonna tend to burn fat because carbs is immediate energy. But when you reduce those carbs, how can you run, right? How can you have energy throughout the day? So for example, if people lose weight here in this office, I typically tell them to do 15, 30 grams of carbs. That's not very much, and so they go into what we call fat burning mode, which is ketosis. And so you have to figure out how much carbs can you have at the very most to cause you to burn the amount of protein, to burn fat on your body. So variety, the amount of carbs, and then when you're in ketosis, you want to make sure when you're burning fat on your body's going to dump liquids. It'll dump all your minerals. So sea salt, healthy sea salt. I prefer the sea salt from your research because it doesn't have bad heavy metals in there. And so the sea salt there, don't be sparing with sea salt when you're on ketosis because your body's dumping those minerals and then you get dehydrated. That's not good. So getting sea salt, and I actually recommend doing supplementation like multivitamins, even doing multi-minerals and fish oil, those three things. If you're having enough fat from your food, like depending on how much again, fat you can tolerate. Some ketogenic diets you can allow you to have a lot of fat. So we have to figure that out. And some, may require that you do little fat. This is where carnitine comes in because if you're not digesting well, doing either bile acids, like liver gallbladder from Designs for Health, or bile acids, we have it from NutriCost, those things will help you to digest fats. And so that's solving one issue if you're not digesting the fats and it's causing bloating. The other thing that you mentioned is potentially allergies from foods. If you tend to have the same foods every day, that can cause an issue too because you're not having enough variety. Your body is not accustomed to having the same foods all the time, and so it develops this kind of a sensitivity. So, just backing off for a little while. If it stays bad, meaning you're reacting to the eggs continually, even though you've backed down and reintroduced it, then you come in and we can reassess and figure out if it's still causing a sensitivity by muscle testing. Then we can treat you to it, and then that will kind of get you over the hump. So, just in summary, proper proportions, proper variety. Protein and fats should be dominated, and then the amount of fats and primarily the amount of carbs would be the most critical ingredient if you want to lose weight in order to get into ketosis or fat burning mode. So any other questions that you want to answer besides those things?